The Emperor's New Clothes. Once upon a time, there lived an emperor who was obsessed with his image. Despite all the problems that affected the village, all he worried about was his appearance and his wardrobe. While his people worked from dawn till dusk in order to feed themselves and fight off cold and hunger, he never left the palace and spent the whole day trying on suits, cloaks, and wigs. The employees of the court knew that he was incapable of governing and had no respect for him. However, they did not confront him through fear of losing their jobs. Although he did not trust them either, he did not wish to be alone, and he paid them well to ensure he never went without new clothes. For this reason, traders and tailors from all around came to the village to offer the vain sovereign their best pieces. One day, two scoundrels arrived in the village. They had found out about the emperor's reputation and had hatched a plot to take advantage of his vanity. Passing themselves off as tailors from a faraway kingdom, they went to the palace to offer him the most original and sophisticated suit that could ever be imagined. A suit made from a beautiful fabric, with vibrant colors, incredible patterns, exquisite embroidery, and brilliant finishes. A fabric that also had a unique and exceptional quality. It could only be seen by good and intelligent people, and would be invisible to those who were stupid, useless, incompetent, and bad. The emperor carefully followed their every word, his eyes growing as big as plates when he imagined how great he would feel in such a sophisticated and special suit. "Deliver it to me today," he ordered them, once they had finished describing the fabric. "We will make it to measure," they responded. "But you must bear in mind that it will take both time and money to make such a delicate and exclusive fabric. We first need money to buy the materials, and then we can start weaving it tomorrow, right here, in the palace, so that you and your servants can see our work progress." The emperor gave them the money they asked for right away, and assigned an area for them to set up their workshop. The two scoundrels left with the fortune they had secured as an advance payment, and after storing it safely in their houses, returned to the palace with a load of empty boxes, which they said held all the necessary materials to make the suit. They went to the workshop and pretended to be working, making waving motions and theatrical gestures with their arms, and acting as if they were cutting, sewing, and weaving the enormous cloth. The emperor was so nervous and excited, not only about the idea of this fantastic suit, but also by the opportunity it would offer him to find out which of his servants were stupid and useless. He therefore decided to send a different employee to the workshop every day to find out how the fabric was progressing, and at the same time ascertain which of them were not worthy of working for him. The first one, sent to supervise the work of the impostors, entered the workshop and was left speechless. The two men seemed to be deeply absorbed in their work, but he could not see a thing. Obviously, there was actually nothing to see. In response to his silence, one of the rogues asked him, "Well, sir, what do you think of the fabric? Isn't it the most beautiful fabric you've ever seen? Look at the details, the decorations." "Am I stupid, useless, or incompetent?" the servant asked himself. "It's just not possible. And even if it were, the emperor must never find out. If I lose my job, I'll be ruined." Therefore, trying to act much calmer than he felt, he replied in a weak voice, "It's wonderful. I have never seen anything like it, and I'll tell the emperor this." So he left the workshop, and the rascals smiled in satisfaction. The following day, the vain governor sent a different servant. Like the first one, his mouth dropped in amazement on entering the workshop. He saw nothing because there was nothing to see. However, like his workmate, he trembled at the thought of being taken for an idiot, and did not consider telling his boss the truth, not even for a minute. He therefore left and reported the exact words the false tailors had used to describe the fabric. So the days passed with the daily visits of the servants, and the scoundrels' pockets increasingly filling with more money. Each week they asked for a little more in order to be able to finish their work. And as the emperor heard no end of praise about the completely unique suit, he handed over enormous sums of money without saying a word, which they in turn stored in their houses. Meanwhile, expectations among the people grew. The village party was only a few days away, and the emperor had announced that he would reveal the fabulous suit for the first time at the party. Men, women, and children were full of excitement about seeing it. The emperor would come out of the palace and show the great work to all those gathered in the square. In the workshop, the lights remained on day and night to make the people think they were working non-stop, not abandoning their work on the fabric even for a moment. Then the big day arrived. The emperor received the two bandits in his quarters first thing in the morning. Seeing them enter the room with their arms outstretched but empty, his heart skipped a beat. He saw nothing in their arms, as there was nothing there, but he dared not even speak. "It can't be possible that I'm the stupid one," he thought. "If all my servants have seen it, and I can't, they will think that I am useless and not fit to govern." With his eyes as wide as plates, this time because of the shock he had experienced, he congratulated them for their magnificent work, and asked them to dress him in the garment. "You must undress first, your majesty," they said. And so the emperor did. He undressed in front of the two scoundrels and all his servants, allowing the two rogues to play out their charade. They took the task very seriously, and pretended to unfold the suit, which piece by piece they fitted to the emperor's body. They lifted up one of his legs and then the other in order to put the trousers on. They made him hold his arms in a cross in order to put the jacket on and tie the belt. Finally, they surrounded him in order to wrap him in the cloak, which had a long trail that extended over the floor. You'll notice that it is also weightless. The fabric is so fine, light, and comfortable. It's like wearing nothing at all. Isn't it amazing? They asked. "Oh, yes, it's incredible. I would never have imagined it to be so special," answered the emperor. All the servants prompted themselves to say how good the suit looked, but he dared not say anything, fearing his intelligence would be called into question. So, completely naked, the emperor walked to the doors of the palace. Outside, the whole village anxiously awaited him, with their eyes fixed on the stairway where he would appear. Suddenly, the trumpet sounded, and under a brilliant sun, the doors opened and out came the emperor. He walked like a royal turkey, with his head held high. The people let out a suffocated scream on seeing him naked, and then everybody fell completely silent. Nobody could stop looking at him, but nobody would dare say what they saw, through fear of being branded as stupid or malicious. Suddenly, when the emperor had reached the side of the square, a child's voice shouted out, "But he's got nothing on! He's naked!" The child's father held him in his arms and added, "Dear God, it is the voice of an innocent." But then the whole village joined voices and shouted, "He's got nothing on! He's naked!" The emperor seriously suspected that they were right, but was unable to acknowledge his mistake, and thought, "I must see it through to the end." And while the two scoundrels ran away from the village without anyone blocking their path, the emperor stuck out his chest further and finished his walk to the sound of the giggles and laughs of all his people.